everybody, it's 2010, that's right, it's a whole brand new year, and it's time for a whole new hot mess where we have entertainment and news battling it out to determine just who is a hot mess in entertainment. Let's go ahead right to it in the battle of what will kill you faster between the H1N1 virus and fried butter. That's right, my friends, for the last couple of years, you could go to many carnivals and find butter wrapped in like a sweet dough and deep fried. And now, apparently, even available in your local market's freezer. Meanwhile, the H1N1 virus continues to plague the world, and even though it may not be as virulent as initially feared, it still has the potential to mutate even further. So what will kill you faster? And no, it will not be the killer winter, even though, according to the Weather Channel, 15 people have died since this cold and snow snap has occurred. This photo was apparently taken in upstate Michigan. Look at this. That's a snowplow in snow. That's insane! I don't want to look at that. So, but anyway, between fried butter, H1N1, what will kill you faster? And I had to think about it. And I did say what will kill you faster. So I will go with H1N1 virus. The statistics are not amazingly great if you get it. At the same time, there's a lot of preventable things that you can do for both. For the fried butter, moderation or don't eat it. H1N1, do safe things, wash your hands, disinfect your local areas, get the vaccine. Those kinds of things. In another battle of the Monday Night Wars, and I had to put a little question mark at the end because really, is this the resurgence of professional wrestling? This time between the WWE and TNA. This past Monday night, TNA with their new partner, Hulk Hogan, came out with tons of professional wrestling stars. The likes of Scott Hall, Sean Waltman, Sean Morley, otherwise known as Val Venus, Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, Shannon Moore, Jeff Hardy, and many more showcased on TNA going up against the WWE. Who was able to pull off? Who is the big hot mess in this deal? Unfortunately, I have to say, it's kind of TNA. In this case, WWE, I think, was able to use their mainstream appeal, their mainstream audience, and had the stronger overall 2 hours for a mainstream crowd. And I want to emphasize that. I think TNA made a lot of mistakes. I think their first hour was just bad. Their first two matches were just not that great. I think they made some mistakes by having Hulk Hogan, even though he was the largest segment of their viewing audience. Hulk Hogan and Sean Waltman and Scott Hall appearing and confronting in the middle of the ring, it felt a little bit too much like old school WCW. And I think fans, if they're looking for an alternative, a mainstream alternative to the WWE, they want something a little different. They want something new. I think they're ready and eager and willing to chomp on it. I think bringing back Hulk Hogan is a great thing. I think they should have done it a little earlier. Also, my guess is to pay for all the talent that was appearing on TNA. They had a lot of commercial breaks. It was like every time you blinked, there was a commercial break. They'd had some product placement inside the show. Maybe they should have done that a little bit more, or scrawls across the screen, or logos on the screen, or something. But it was just too much and too broken up. And really, their trump card was their third hour. But they waited until their third hour to play it, to show it, to announce that the match that they were going to have on pay-per-view between AJ Styles and Kurt Angle was now going to be airing tonight. But guess what? Tonight came, and not many people were watching because many of the mainstream fans had already decided to turn their channel to the WWE. Now, many are saying this is a success for TNA because they did pull off a 1.5 rating and a 1.7 during the time that Hulk Hogan was on, but WWE did pull away with the higher mainstream ranking. Now, of course, this is also to recognize that ROH does have programming on 8 to 9 on Monday nights. I do not know what their ranking was. I could not find what their rating was, excuse me. But is there an underlying resurgence of professional wrestling? SAW out of Tennessee is syndicated in many national markets right now, and Pro Wrestling Unplugged this Saturday will have a press conference to talk about their third-party deal to appear on Versus TV. Fans, make sure that you're watching that if you're a fan of pro wrestling. You never know what's going to happen in the crazy world of pro wrestling, but it looks like it may just be resurging once again. And in our final battle of the evening, and this is going to be a big one, it's the Battle of Late Night. That's right, we have contenders David Letterman, Craig Ferguson, Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, and Jimmy Fallon. So what seems to be going on right now? Well, between Dave and Craig on CBS, they are doing very well in the ratings. They have since the NBC regime change over on CBS. They're doing great. Their shows are great. The network is apparently very happy with their performance right now. Meanwhile, over on NBC, between Jay, Conan, and Jimmy, Well, Jay's ratings aren't doing so hot, and despite some early troubling ratings for Conan O'Brien and Jimmy Fallon, their fourth quarter ratings tied them for first place with their competition on CBS. Meanwhile, the quality of the show, many critics and fans are saying Jay Leno's show is just not quite the flavor it was when it was The Tonight Show. Meanwhile, everybody's lauding over and applauding over Conan O'Brien's appearances. Unfortunately, Jimmy Fallon is just bad. NBC, though, apparently is very well in the pocket or behind Jay Leno, very surprisingly, but not behind Conan O'Brien. Apparently, we've seen a drop in some markets, even though he ranks very high in the 19 to 54 category. And Jimmy Fallon also apparently very favorable with NBC. Very interesting, though. NBC is denying any rumors, though, and this is kind of a little bit of a change, so I'm going to give it both a thumb up and thumbs down for each guy. Jay Leno, apparently, despite the ratings and network being very happy with him, they're saying we're committed to him for 2 years. It almost seems like a put down. Meanwhile, Conan O'Brien, they've also said, well, we've had Conan O'Brien for 16 years. He's loved by the entertainment community. We're not getting rid of him anytime soon. And maybe some bad news for Jimmy Fallon. They're not really talking too much about him. And his show is not good at all. So who are the big winners? That's right, the big winners in this battle are none other than Craig Ferguson and David Letterman. I love these guys. These guys are friggin' awesome. But, you know, does anybody know what's going on with him, Jimmy Kimmel? I don't even know. He's not even a contender. And George Lopez is getting some recognition, but I don't think it's coming on strong enough yet. He is on cable. I think there's a lot more potential for a lot more things to come. And speaking of things to come, there will be many more hot messes. Please leave comments, questions, concerns below. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of the first hot mess in the year 2010. Thank you much, everybody, and I'll see you next time.